Before we go any further, if you could tell us your daughter's name, how long ago she passed away, and do what we do in retreats, 5 words to describe her.
So my daughter's name was Mariah Lynn Keller. It will be 7 years, April 7th, that she passed. Uh, Strong, exuberant, um, sparkle. She just, well, her smile was so contagious. Silly, love, and just overall perseverance.
So, is there anything that's impacted you in the long term? And it could be Ohana Way Sister, just anything that you look at from the time that you lost Mariah to now.
I would really just have to say, honestly, the friends that we met there. I think that in society you can't really talk to people about what you've gone through without kind of bringing the room down. And so the people that we met there, you kind of just clicked with. And it's funny because if I ever need to talk to somebody, or if they ever need to talk to somebody, it's kind of this tight knit group that you can just make a phone call and you can talk to someone who knows how you feel and knows what you're going through. And so that to me was just special and memorable, and one of the huge keys to me too, because I didn't really want to get out for a long time. I felt different from, society and everybody. I kind of closed myself in, and it was just really helpful to me to have that, to be able to, have somebody I could talk to, or somebody that, knew what I was going through. And it kind of helped me to reintegrate into society with everything that I was going through. So kind of helped me to get back into society, because it brought a lot of my self-esteem back to be able to sit in a room with these people and talk about what we had been through. And
what's been the most surprising thing to you in your experience of being a grieving, bereaved parent, and moving through that experience of probably being in a different place now? But what's been the most surprising thing?
how you can just be okay 1 minute and feel like you're finally starting to process through all of this grief and feeling somewhat normal, and how grief can just come right back in a second and take you out for a little bit. It's really surprising how that can happen and how it does happen.
And have you found that it's things that you wouldn't anticipate being triggers that kind of hit you, or is it things that you do see why?
I'd say both. I'd say both. There's sometimes, for instance, a smell in the air that reminds me of her, or a song, or something that, because we adopted 2 little boys after we came there. Sometimes they do things that really remind us of her. So it's both.
Yeah. What would you say has been the biggest ongoing struggle?
Biggest ongoing struggle for me, I think, is feeling guilt when I start to really feel happy and feel like I'm kind of moving ahead, and I start to feel guilt that my daughter's not here. I shouldn't be. Should I feel, kind of questioning myself, should I feel happy again? Should I allow myself to feel that without her here? So that's been the big thing for me.
And have you found ways to deal with that, or is that still something that you're just left with, like, I feel this immense guilt?
Um, I have found ways to deal with it. I think that as a family, we really is if I'm having a really tough day and I'm upset, feeling the guilt and things like that, I'll go and I'll, find one of the lakes or there's different little ponds around here too that we can go to, and I'll do that and just think about her and think about what she would want for me, would she want me feel that guilt,
Mm.
and that helps me a lot to kind of connect with nature. And
That sounds like connect with nature, connect with her, and also recognize that she'd want you to be happy.
yeah,
All of that.
yep.
That's beautiful. And then what's the biggest blessing that you've gotten out of something that's tremendously horrible and tragic? But I would imagine there's some silver linings in there.
The biggest blessing,
Hmm.
um, these two little brats over here.
I can see them popping in the background there.
Yeah, we started doing foster care and came across this sweet little boys and ended up adopting them. And we would have never thought to do that if it weren't for Raya. But after she passed away, we just really wanted to help in some way in her honor, and um, it's been a huge blessing in our lives. We absolutely love the adventures that these guys send us on, and it's been fun.
What's at least one lesson that you've learned through your loss?
Oh gosh, that love. The biggest lesson I think is that love transcends. Just because someone is gone, and it took me a long time to learn that lesson. I felt like just because my daughter's gone, that she's gone, and I'm not gonna feel her. I'm not gonna see her. Um, but as I allowed myself to start to heal, um, I learned to really just see her in everything. And the more I open myself up to that, I do. There's certain things that, they when things are going really good, I feel that she's a part of that. I feel that she's kind of maybe setting things up, or up there saying, okay, I'm guiding you guys down this path. And so as I've let myself um, heal and feel her just in everything around me, I think a lot of things have opened up to me, and I've been able to really recognize a lot of different blessings in life that I wasn't recognizing before.
I love that. I think that's something that seems to be a common theme, both that it takes time to accept that, but that parents do see, like, the relationship with your child is ongoing. Just because they're not here physically doesn't mean that the relationship is gone. It is something that
Yeah.
can continue. And for myself anyway, I've experienced it in some ways it's in a bigger, more expansive way than it could be if she were still here on earth.
Yeah, absolutely.
How, and you've mentioned it in a couple different things, but I'm curious, how do you continue to honor Mariah in your day-to-day life and on
Um,
anniversaries and holidays?
yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, well, there's lots of different things. I mean, the one is through my boys, being able to love and care for them. Um, the other things are just trying to help other people. She was all about, helping people. And so I feel closest to her when I'm trying to help others.
Mm. And do you do anything on, and you may not because it runs the gamut. Do you do anything on birthdays or anniversary dates or holidays?
Yeah, yeah. Like on the anniversary dates, we just like the day she passed, we try to do something quiet as a family, just peaceful, usually something out in nature where we can really just think about her. Um, on birthdays, usually we just have a special dinner and sometimes a cake for her and talk about our favorite memories of her.
What advice would you give to a grieving parent that's maybe newer into it?
Just one day at a time. Um, at first, it kind of seems like you're never going to get through this. And believe me, I think 3 years into it, I was still, you know, really having a rough time of things. But if you really just try to take it one day at a time and look at the blessings in your life, try to focus on those, um, it will get better and you will be able to finally see the happy things about your child, the happiness that she brought or he, the great things that they brought instead of just the bad, the hard, the sad, things that they went through. And then once you get to that point, it is really nice to be able to just remember those good things. So
Yeah.
just hang in day to day.
Hang in there. Yeah, that's a good one. So, what's one thing that you'd like to share with people about losing a child that they may not know?
Don't don't be a person that is shut off and just puts your grief away. Um, I think that grief is your last final testament to the love that you felt for your child. And to feel that and to go through that, and actually deal with it instead of putting it aside, you actually become closer to your child. When you just put it away, you not only don't deal with it, but you're pushing them away as well. And to go through your grief and acknowledge it, um, it is you're showing your child love, and by going through this hard battle, you're going to be a lot closer to them at the end. So allow yourself to go through the grief.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. Do you have any and it's hard sometimes to think about what it is that you did or are doing, but do you have any wisdom on what that means to go through it and to embrace the grief?
It's going to be different for everybody, I think, based off of the relationship that they had with their child. But I think that the biggest thing is just allow yourself to feel everything that you need to feel, because that's your child and that's everything that they were. And so, um, as you go through it, I think it's helpful to just think of them a lot and think of the things that they would love and what they would want for you. Really think about what they would want for you because they don't want to see you sad and suffering, and just try to be strong. Know that you are loved. There's so many people that have to go through this, and it's probably the hardest experience that anybody can go through. And that by going through your retreats or your online courses, that they're on the right track. There's so many people that they can connect with and find support, which is so important to have somebody that knows. So